Welcome everybody to another episode of the Train Studio. I'm your host, Sean Morris. Today on the Train Studio update, I'm just going to do the final video for the 28mm project. Just after the video, I'm going to start taking off the parts that I can move, which basically is the house, and then I'm going to start boxing up the project and sending it off. I did end up keeping in a few extra days just because I wanted to do some extra detail work, which I'll show you. And also just got kind of back into the job, so I had a few things kind of distracting me from modeling, but it is done. I buttoned up everything I needed to finish, and now I'll walk you guys through, and we'll talk about the project. So this being the first 28mm project, it was pretty exciting to do, and certainly not going to shy away from this type work in the future. So it wasn't overly complicated in terms of outside my realm, but there's a lot of new elements, and luckily I had some great guys along the way. Dred and Jamie, they helped me out big time on the project. So let's just go in and have a look. So here we have the Germans advancing up the road. So having a look in the building. You got some guys here just sort of advancing up behind the tank. I had managed to sink their boots kind of into the mud a little bit, and then put a little bit of mud over top, just to indicate that they had been sort of walking along, and really kind of blend them in, make them not so sort of on top of the feature. I really want to make them a part of the table. And here is the shtug here. You guys can see the judges. I was the guy that painted up the crew for the tank, so you guys can let me know how I did painting those. And then of course you got Jamie's awesome figs up here in the front, just finishing off the line, the column of Germans. So underneath, we got the sneaky Canadian here. He's got his arm up, raised up, telling the other Canadians, that are waiting down here underneath, that we got some Germans advancing. So that kind of cinematic look. I really like that sort of angle, that sort of picture there. Again, the details here just in and around the shrubs. That's what I ended up doing with the roots, just kind of having them on top and sort of growing into the ground. The groundwork which you guys have seen, but maybe I'll just give you another detail shot here. So you can see it ended up being really broken and uneven and lush, kind of indicating that we had some sort of swampy area. And again, that green's blending into the swamp type browns. So that's what I did there. A shot underneath the bridge. Got some creepy vines and stuff over here, extending down from the edge and then just running along in spots. A combination of the three-dimensional and the sort of the flocking that's sort of pressed into the lines. Move around. I just ended off the bridge here. It's a lot of focus. There we go. Just ended off the bridge there. Give it a more clean look. It was kind of difficult because of the angle that the bridge was at, but I think this sort of truncates the bridge nicely and doesn't lose the flow of the diorama. Here we have again just more shots of the ground here. The broken gravel, bridge pieces, the shot from the guy here sort of standing under the bridge again, the water, and I cut the edging to actually show you the side profile of the water itself, just kind of give that the look that there's it's got some depth to it. Again here, got the other well down there. It's got some water in that one as well, and in the well. And then we have the vines going up here, and then we kind of get into the more lush ground here, but it's unkept and unclean and sort of not maintained. That was the bridge there. That was the fence there that I had scratch built, and I think now that it's blended in, it's starting to, it looks like it should be kind of there, sort of thing. So. And then we got the real cool Canadians, sneaking in here. We got the guy got his rifle poked through, ready to take a shot. We got a guy with a machine gun here right at the gate. ready to jump out. Another guy checking the crack there. This guy's hiding behind the wood pile. We got the split logs there, the barrel that's leaking out a little bit of liquid. And then we go in, we got the veggie patch here, the dog house, chains laying in the grass here. There's an upside down water bowl. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right just at the end of my fingertip. The pitchfork, the rake, and the lawn is somewhat maintained, but at the same time not really. It's got a lot of grass that's sort of starting to grow up and creep around, and there's some birdhouses in that tree. It's a little hard to see from this angle, but you guys can get take my word for it, I guess. So that kind of shows you that half of the diorama there. Really lush and sort of overgrown and tight stuff. And then here we have the great house. I put a little leaf litter on the roof to indicate leaves been blowing around, and it's kind of been unkept and really unmaintained roof, if you weren't already sure that it was unmaintained by the lack of shingles. So people are asking about fallen shingles. We sort of had a little bit of a narrative that maybe this roof has been damaged for some time. It's not new damage, so the shingles have long since been sort of picked up and gathered kind of as they've sort of fallen. So no recent fallen shingles, but obviously you can see that the roof has some leaves sort of blown in through and gathered and collected around on the boards. Down here, I finished up putting that bookcase in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but I put some cobwebs at the top, just sort of indicating that maybe those books are a little less accessed. And then we know you got the collapsed shelf and some books falling at the bottom. This guy's strolling around the front side of the building. It's very dark, but you guys can see the silhouetted Piat guy right there, ready to fire down on the tank. And there's hard to see, but there's a bed and a dresser in there, and I did a little bit of broken glass there on the ground. It's see-through, but I also put a little ink wash on it to make it kind of more of a smoky look, really, because this room here was where the fire was, so I figured that would be, very soot covered, so it's quite dark, that glass. Getting down into this room here, not really sure how much you guys can see, but there's a guy right over there by the window, and then we got a guy here playing cards, and if you look at his sleeve, you may notice something up it, and you can imagine what that may be, being a card player. Then the fireplace there, and then I end up putting 2 photographs on the wall over there. I know I realize they wouldn't be in color, but if you are able to pick out what they are, you'll know why I chose those particular photos. And then getting into the basement, which I wasn't going to do anything with, and then I ended up probably doing the most with. I just picked a large sort of boxy type, I figured there'd be crates and things under there, so I put a big tarp over top of that. It's actually 3 tarps, so I realized that would be a massive tarp, so I actually made it in 3, just to sort of indicate, that would be, scale-wise, it should be, 3 separate ones. A couple old shutters that have, again, fallen off the building. Some leaf litter, some clutter in the basement, that's just gathered up. There's a chain there. We have 2 guys. This guy is not pointing at his head. The angle is actually well behind. It's just the pose of the figure, but they're poring over a map right there. And it's going to be very hard to see. I'll have to post some photos, but unless I can angle this a little bit different for you guys, but maybe I can move this into the light a little bit more. Perhaps maybe I'll see if I can get some light from behind. Maybe that'll help a little bit. A little bit there. There is a shelf in the back, and it has some sacks of flour and some small kegs and bottles on the top shelf, and over here we have a little chest that's covered up, and then again a large barrel that's has a leak and it's sort of spilt out onto the floor. So just backing up, that's your house and side profile, so you can see each room is kind of unique and it's got something else going on, a little narrative per room, and then again wrapping around to the front to finish that off. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the 28 mil project, and I look forward to getting another project and really trying some other techniques and doing a good job again. So let me know what you guys think, guys, and off it goes and on to the next project. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.